buying a property and wearing designer clothes and driving the latest, flashiest car. The two of them are mutually exclusive. It's on a job on Friday. At this tenant's house, chatting to the tenant. Big woman, all 50 something. Said to her, yeah, obviously, man's moved up from North London to Northampton. Cause you know what London prices is like. I couldn't afford to buy a property in North London. And she was like, yeah, I know. She originally is from Camden, which is in like basically northwest London, near central London. So she was like, yeah, I know what the prices are like in London. She's like, yeah, my son, he wants to buy a property, but he can't afford Northampton. He has to go northeast, around Newcastle size. That's where he's gonna go to buy a property. And I think to myself, rah, like Northampton is affordable. Northampton is pretty much cheap. If a man can't afford to buy a property in Northampton, a man must be on some dead wage, on some mad wages and that. But a man's not on no mad wages. A man's not on no dead wage, you know. The woman told me something about the man's driving an A-class Mercedes AMG. And I know what one she's talking about. You know them A45 A-class AMG Mercedes? My man's got that. Yeah. Throughout the conversation, she's telling me, yeah, my son, he loves to wear them Balenciagas and the Balmain. He's always well groomed and that. He's always looking, you get me? And I think to myself, this is the reason why this youth cannot afford to buy a property in Northampton. Cause you have to check it. You see this A-class AMG A45 Mercedes, it's like the top of the range at the A-class. Them cars there, man know how much they cost per month, you know, like between like $350 and $450 a month. My mortgage is $450 a month. And my property is worth more than what he would be looking to buy. If a man was to just save up his money, right now, a flat, 1-bed, 2-bed flat in Northampton is about 110, 120. The mortgage on that will be way less than what I'm paying because I've got a 3-bed yard. Mortgage on that, let's just round it off, call it £300 a month. Obviously, depends on how much deposit you put down and that interest rates have gone up and that. But as of May 2022, he could easily put down a deposit of 10% and be paying like no more than £300 a month for a 1-bed, 2-bed flat. But a man can't afford it. Do you know why? Because he thinks it's more important to look a certain way, well groomed, designer clothes and that, drive the latest, flashiest car. That man's stupid. In years to come, that property will always be around. That car there, every day, every month, every year, it's losing value. Don't make no sense. Where the hell are you gonna go and move up, way up, northeast of England, where you don't know no one? You ain't got no family up there, no friends, because you can't afford to buy a Northampton. The man would rather look the part. Yeah, validation for the people that make himself feel like he's worth something because of the clothes that he wears and the car that he drives and that. Or because he wants to live a pretentious lifestyle. Ridiculous, man. Literally, he's literally following the manuscript of a dumb 20-year-old. You chat to people in their 30s, mid-30s, 40s, 50s and that, and they'll tell you, yeah, when I was in my 20s and that, I used to spend money like a jackass. He's that. He's literally walking down that path. And then, when he's late 30s, 40s, 50s and that, he's going to be saying, yeah, you know, I wish I didn't spend money like no damn jackass, you know. Because that car's not going to be around forever, innit? That property there, that'll be around for years. I had to get a new exhaust pipe for my bike. So I ordered a new exhaust pipe for my bike. And I went down to this place called Chadwell Heath, like near Romford, on the outskirts of East London to get fitted. And it's one of them, you know, one of them custom type of like car places and that. Like, man are not bringing like some dead cars in there. Man are all pulling up in Range Rovers, R32s, M4s. You know them, man, they do all the body works and that. They got the custom exhaust pipes and all them things there. And then one of the youths come up to me and he's chatting to me and that. And he's talking about all these modifications he's done to his car and that. And I've had other conversations with man and they're all bragging, yeah, I've tuned up my car. I've probably spent about 20 grand in my car. I don't think to myself, brother, You could have bought a property with that, you know. You could have put down a deposit on a property with that 20 grand, fam. And that could have been bringing you back £600 profit every month. I'm talking about in Northampton. But a man will think it's a better idea to buy a nice flashy car and that's gonna lose value. Don't get me started with this AP watch business. Man would rather buy an AP watch for 30 grand and that, and apparently there's a it increases in value quite quickly and that. So what, fam? Your property that you buy today, your great grandchildren could be living in that. Name me 3 people that have got a watch that their great grandfather had possessed. You see all them country houses, man, say all the time, them country houses out in the middle of the nowhere and that, the Cotswolds and that, Gloucestershire and all them places there. Some of them people there that live in that country yard, they don't own it. They never bought it. That's their great grandfather's yard. They could even afford to buy it themselves, but you know what? Their great grandfather, he's made sacrifice and that. He's bought that property. It's been passed down throughout the generations and that. Ain't been rewired in 100 years. Them man, they all still using candles and that. Ain't got no sufficient electrics, but at least they still got the property and that. I know, man. Man are bragging to me about they got a wardrobe that's worth 20 grand. Fam, that's some whole shit, blood. Are you a gyal? Coming to me with conversations about bragging about a man's got a wardrobe that's worth 20 grand. Gucci, Balenciaga, Balmain. But I don't business, fam. That's something that a gyal would do, fam. Like me, I can brag and say, yeah, man's got this property, that property. You know, if you want to go and brag to a man about my wardrobe being worth 20 grand and that. When I hear a man say that, when a man comes to me and tells me that he's done about 20 grand's worth of modifications on his car and he's got, or a next man comes to me and says, oh, he's got a wardrobe that's worth about 20 grand, because there are people out there like that. I think, you're an idiot, fam. You are not money literate. You don't have a plan. You don't think long term. You're moving like a gal if you're bragging about your wardrobe is worth 20 grand. What kind of whole shit is that, blood? You think my stepdad... Let me tell you something. I don't know about some of you man watching this, but I had a man's man in my yard, yeah, growing up. My stepdad been around since I was 1 year old. He's still there right now. I'm just on my mum's estate, parked around the corner where it's nice and quiet. My stepdad a proper man's man. None of this texting LOL emojis and that. You think a man don't have Gucci and all that? A man don't brag about flipping how much his wardrobe's worth and that. My stepdad's such a man. Like, he don't even, like, I was shocked the other day. I was in the kitchen. He was talking to one of his brothers and that, and he was talking about TikTok. I'm like, rah, this brother knows about TikTok. Like, trust me, my stepdad he's not interested in what's going on in social media and that. I was like, rah. I was shocked when a man told me that when I overheard that he said TikTok and that. This is the type of man, like, he probably got annoyed and that. You know, like when because like with the youths now in school, they have to, it's like the parents have to send emails and that. He's one of them man that, you know, interested in technology, old school. He probably got vexed when they say, oh, I have to start using emails and that. My stepdad don't even have WhatsApp. Yeah, he's that much of a man. Man don't get involved in this technology and the hype and them thing. My man's old school. He probably don't even know what an emoji is. If I ever was texting my stepdad and he sent me an emoji or LOL or this nonsense, and I'd have a heart attack. Man's man. Man was raised by a man. Man didn't even, like, literally, man didn't even know that a man could cry, you know. I didn't know. When I was a kid, this sounds silly and stupid. I did not know that men could cry, because I never see the man that was directly in my life cry, blood. Man was raised, get me, by a man who's a strong man and that. Anyway, back to the original point, man. If you want to buy a property and that, you're gonna have to give up this designer clothes and this Balenciaga and driving a Mercedes, and that. The two are mutually exclusive. I'm not saying there aren't people on this planet who do have properties and do have designer clothes in it, yeah. But it's gonna have to come a point where you're like, you know what, yeah, because it's a mindset, you know what, yeah. Buying a property is more important than designer clothes and that. It's all in moderation. You do not need to, if you're living at your mother's yard and you're only 21, why do you need to drive an A45 AMG A-Class Mercedes? Why? The petrol alone. Because although it's an A45 Mercedes, I don't think it's a 4.5 litre. Some of these cars nowadays, they're quite misleading, and I think it might just be like a 3 litre or something like that. Because even that the C63 Mercedes, before, it used to actually be a the C63 Mercedes beforehand, like the 2000 and I don't know 16 version, used to be a 6.2, but now, although it says C63, it's actually like a 4 litre something, innit? I don't know why they have these numbers at the back of the car if they don't actually represent the engine size and the car. If a car it says 1.6, then it's a 1.6 litre, innit? But anyway, the petrol on these cars is mad. The maintenance on these cars is mad. How the hell are you paying 350, maybe up to £400 a month on a car that's not bringing you back nothing in return, that's not going up in value, which is going down in value, when you could use that money to put down a deposit and buy a property, have your own roof over your head, so that if you eventually do move in with a gal one day, which I don't really recommend, if she kicks you out, you got somewhere to go. Where are you gonna go if you get kicked out? And you're gonna sleep in the A45 Mercedes? Ridiculous, man. I don't know why these youths, like, I don't know what it is, fam. Because before, man used to always think that, yeah, it's they're following Mercedes, they're following the celebrities and that, and the socialites and that. Certain gal don't even care about what socialites are doing or what celebrities are doing. It must just be for the validation and that. It must be just trying to keep up with the Joneses. Mentioned this in a couple videos. I don't know if I released those videos yet, but they said that people that want to look a certain way, want to dress nice, want to drive the latest cars and that, it's either to impress those around them, so want to keep up with the Joneses, want to impress people, want the validation from the people, or they want to suppress those around them. I know, man, they drive nice flashy car and that, and they will tell me, oh yeah, man, don't, like, the Mercedes thing or the lease and the car thing is expensive, man. It's a waste of money, innit? When you're paying this money and that, and you ain't really working and that, you get me, it's a burden on your pocket and that. And I chat to him, man, he's talking about, yeah, the next car that he's gonna get is gonna be a Range Rover or something. And I know a man just probably wants to suppress the man them around him. There's certain people, they want to drive a Mercedes and that, so that they can keep up with their brethren and be on the same level as their brethren and that. There's certain man, they want to drive a Mercedes or a Range Rover or Audi Q7 so that they have the best car out of the bunch. But guess what? You see this person that has that mentality, yeah, I want the Q7 and that, and get me best car out of the bunch. They have no properties and that. And funny enough, these are the people that are on the lowest, shittest wages. The people them that is bankers and stockbrokers and that, I'm telling you, their cars are not as nice as some of the people that are on 30 grand a year. Because when you got money, you don't care about looking like you got money. Anytime you feel like you're broke, which you would never, you just look at your bank balance. Everyone's on their mobile banking, looking on there every other day or whatever, innit? Just look at your bank balance and that, and you get me. It's always the brokest people that feel like they need to wear the nicest clothes and drive the nicest, flashiest cars and that. Told you all the time, man, go to these tenants' houses, I'll see a nice Mercedes outside, I'll see an Audi outside, and the yard is mad. No, the yard looks like there's no flooring, blood. It's just a subfloor, or the floorboards and that. Subfloor is the concrete on the ground floor. So after you take up the carpet or take up the floorboard, the flooring, like, you know, laminate flooring and that, or the lino, it's just that concrete thing. They got no flooring, it's just subfloor or floorboards and that. There's no carpet on the stairs, blood. I go upstairs in the bedrooms. Like, what's with these people sleeping on just mattresses? No bed frame, you know. Just mattresses. But they got a Mercedes outside. Or they got an Audi outside. Or they got the latest BMW outside. Then they will talk. I'm seeing Balenciagas on the stairs and that. And you're going upstairs and the yard is mad. Mad. But yeah, literally, buying a property and that, and the designer clothes thing and the flashy cars thing, they're mutually exclusive. I'm not saying that there's no one on this earth, obviously, because there are, innit, that can have both. But it all in moderation. You gotta make that sacrifice. Buying a property, it's not about a money thing. It's more of a mindset. It's a mindset. It's a mindset of, do you know what? That can wait. That is not important. Buying a property is important. I know it's a mindset. Because there are parents right now. Yeah. They have a child. And when the child's a toddler, they're dressing them in Moncler and Gucci and that. Like their kid is some fashion accessory. These items and that cost £100, £200 a piece and that. It's funny. When these kids grow older, they're 10, 11, 12, even 8 years old and that. And they're a little bit struggling in one department, in one particular subject, maybe maths and or English. Those same parents that would rather dress their kids in Balenciaga, Gucci and that, like there's some fashion accessory. These same parents, why do they not put their children through private tuition? Not private school, because private school is mad prices, isn't it? Like 25 grand a year, depends. But why do they not put their youths through private tuition? You know why? Because they don't care. It's a mindset thing. They'll rather look the part than put the money into their child to invest in their child. They'd rather drive a nice car and wear Balenciaga and that and designer clothes and have a wardrobe worth 20 grand than put down a deposit on a property. Do you know why? Because nobody sees where you live. Nobody sees how you live. But people see how you dress and how you drive. What you drive. I walk down the road, I wear Uniqlo jeans, blood. I wear Adidas trainers and that. I walk down the road, people will think I'm as average as they come. They might even think that man's broke. But they don't know that man's got 3 properties. It's all a mindset. It's all a mindset. Anyway, 17 minutes. Hope you enjoyed this one. Stay while it's done, though.